You haven't arrived here by accident. The very fact that these words are reaching your ears now is part of a plan that's older than you can remember. Reality naturally organizes itself into patterns, and tonight you're stepping into one of those patterns. Away from all the noise of the world, a secret has been waiting just for you. It's a law that's unspoken, but it's alive in every movement of the stars. It's the law of effortless becoming, and it's been calling your name. Close your eyes and feel this moment grow. Every breath is like a door, and every pause is like a threshold. There's a deeper rhythm beneath the pulse of your everyday life, a current that carries you whether you fight it or give in to it. You might have thought that change meant struggling, that you had to wrestle destiny into existence. But the ancients knew a different way. They whispered in hidden temples, becoming isn't forced, it's remembered. Tonight, you're remembering. You're not late. You're not broken. You're standing exactly where you need to be, where the spiral opens up, at the intersection of who you used to be and who you're becoming. Can you feel that subtle hum of possibility? It's vibrating in your bones, soft, but you can't deny it. The world around you is listening for your alignment, not how hard you're trying. It bends to what you agree with, not what you fear. You're the signal, not the seeker. When you really understand this, struggle fades away like mist in the morning. There's a reason you're here. You've been carrying questions that silence couldn't answer, and doubts that reason couldn't calm. What if the doorway was never outside of you? What if every possible outcome has just been waiting for you to shift your state of mind? Listen now, because within this book, you'll find a map, not for control, but for surrender. And surrender, even though your mind might fear it, is the very key to your ascension. Imagine the night as a temple. Above you, unseen constellations trace the memories of gods. All around you, time folds and unfolds like a scroll. And within you, a voice awakens, a voice that has been speaking since the very beginning. It tells you, let go of the how, embody the who. This isn't a path of doing, it's a path of being. You're invited to rest, to listen, and to let the hidden law weave its threads around you as you sleep. So, as you start this journey, hold on to one truth. Reality doesn't resist you, it mirrors you. Tonight, we begin the great remembering, the remembering of your magnetic self, your light body, your timeless potential. You were never lost. You were just asleep. Now, with every word, you awaken deeper into the hidden law of effortless becoming. The gates are open. Step across. Chapter 1. The secret of effortless becoming. Throughout history, seekers have believed that change requires struggle, but the hidden current has always said otherwise. The real law whispers not about force, but about harmony, not about exhaustion, but about quiet alignment. Like a river that carves valleys without any strain, your life unfolds most powerfully when you surrender to its natural flow. You're not supposed to wrestle with destiny. You're supposed to let it bloom through you. Think about a seed buried in silence. It doesn't strain against the soil, and it doesn't question the rain. Still, it emerges, certain of its purpose. Your becoming is no different. It's already encoded, already inevitable. When nurtured with faith, your mind might doubt because it can't see, but your soul remembers what has always been. Trust is the soil, belief is the water, and stillness is the light. Growth is certain. You might have been taught to push, to strive, to build your worth through hard work. But those lessons belong to a world of resistance, not to the field of becoming. Struggle often tightens the knots it's trying to untie. Effort just reinforces the very identity you're trying to leave behind. Let go of the idea that more pressure will make you more powerful. True power comes from a soft gaze, a steady heart, and aligned breathing. When you stand in front of a mirror, you don't yell at your reflection to change. You change yourself, and the image follows. Reality works the same way. It's not deaf or indifferent. It's precise. The world reflects what you are, not what you're chasing. Every attempt to force your becoming only makes the distance greater. Every act of embodiment closes that distance. The secret isn't in force, it's in resonance. There's a phrase the ancients guarded. It's not your thoughts, it's your agreement with them. Your becoming doesn't depend on the endless stream of ideas, but on which ones you claim as your own. Agreement is power. Agreement is the quiet signature that reality reads. Align with the thought that you're already whole, already chosen, and the world has to reflect that. Agreement is effortless because it's simply remembrance. Imagine yourself as a tuning fork. Strike the note of lack, and you'll summon echoes of emptiness. Strike the note of abundance, and creation will vibrate to meet you. The fork doesn't strain, it resonates. The same law governs your becoming. The world arranges itself to match the frequency you hold, not the effort you put in. Struggle creates noise. Alignment creates music, and life always answers music. Your subconscious doesn't listen to the force of your words, it listens to the ease of your certainty. When you declare something with strain, it hears contradiction. When you embody something with quiet conviction, it hears truth. That's why assumption outpaces effort, and why imagination outshines willpower. Your becoming doesn't require shouting, it requires inhabiting. Whisper to your soul, and the universe will echo that whisper louder than any command. So tonight, let go of the myth of force. Let go of the belief that you have to climb mountains with bleeding hands to deserve your becoming. Instead, close your eyes and feel the mountain disappear as you awaken on its summit. The journey collapses when alignment is complete. Struggle is an old language. You're here to learn the tongue of resonance, where silence speaks louder than any battle. The secret is simple, but it transforms everything. Stop asking the universe. Start becoming the signal. In this state, effort fades and remembrance rises. You're not separate from the world. You are the world. You're not outside of the law. You are its living proof. Breathe this truth into your bones. Effortless becoming is your birthright. And tonight, that law begins to move through you. Chapter 2. Awakening to Inner Stillness. There's a sacred hush that comes before every revelation. In that hush, the noise of the world fades away, and what's left is pure presence. Stillness isn't emptiness. It's the womb of creation. It holds the blueprint of who you're becoming. In silence, you're closest to the language of the soul. To awaken to stillness is to awaken to your true power. The mind fears quiet because it can't control it. It fills the air with chatter, questions, and restless movements. But beneath that surface turmoil, there's an ocean that never stirs. You've touched it in fleeting moments, just before sleep, just after waking, or when awe silences thought. That ocean is always there, waiting for you to return. The law of becoming flows most easily from that depth. Stillness is the forgotten teacher. It doesn't speak in loud instructions, but in subtle impressions, a breath felt more deeply, a heartbeat noticed instead of ignored. The world would convince you that progress requires noise, but the hidden law moves in the opposite rhythm. When you still yourself, the world arranges itself. Reality leans in to listen to your calm. Imagine sitting beneath an ancient tree. Its roots sink into unseen depths. Its branches rise without strain. Its trunk rests between heaven and earth. The tree doesn't hurry and it doesn't falter. Its strength is in its stillness. You're no different. When you root yourself in silence, your life grows upward naturally. Stillness becomes your hidden root system. There's a mystery here. The quieter you become, the louder reality answers. This isn't passivity, it's alignment. A still heart radiates coherence. A still mind invites clarity. Science has named it coherence of the heart field. Mystics have called it the opening of the inner temple. Both point to the same truth. Creation begins where resistance ends. It's tempting to believe that stillness requires retreat from the world. But stillness isn't a place. It's a state. You can find it in traffic, in conversations, even in conflict. It's the space between words, the pause between breaths, the moment between thoughts. Each time you rest there, you strengthen your alignment. Stillness walks with you wherever you go. Try this now. Inhale slowly, as if drawing the breath from the very stars. Hold it, then let it fall away like leaves in autumn. With each cycle, the mind's grip loosens and silence spreads inside you. This practice isn't escape, it's remembrance. It reminds your subconscious that peace is your natural state. From that state, becoming happens without struggle. As you deepen into quiet, you'll notice something unexpected. Guidance arises. Intuition that was once buried starts to speak. Ideas surface without effort. Solutions appear without forcing. This is the gift of stillness. It awakens the voice of the soul. That voice doesn't push, it invites. It doesn't argue, it affirms. Stillness reveals that you were never lost, only unheard. When the world feels heavy, remember this key. Silence isn't absence, it's presence magnified. Stillness isn't weakness, it's the gateway to strength. Within it, the hidden law awakens and reality shifts in your favor. You don't need to strive for alignment, you just need to rest into it. Stillness is the seedbed of effortless becoming, and it's always available to you now. Chapter 3. The Dream of Identity. Identity is the lens through which you see the world. What you call yourself, what you secretly believe about yourself, quietly shapes every experience you have. The outer world bends to mirror your inner self. This dream of identity isn't fixed. It's fluid, shifting with the stories you tell yourself. Change the dream, and the world has no choice but to follow. From childhood, layers of names and roles have been placed on you. Student, worker, parent, friend. Each becomes a thread in the fabric of who you think you are. But beneath them all lies a deeper identity, untouched and eternal. It waits, unchanging, beneath the masks. You're not the roles, the expectations, or the labels. You're the dreamer behind the dream. The subconscious guards your identity fiercely. It will defend even the most painful self-image because familiarity feels safe. That's why old patterns repeat, why outcomes circle back. Identity insists on being proven right. If you call yourself unworthy, life will deliver proof. If you embody wholeness, life mirrors that instead. Identity isn't an opinion, it's a law in motion. But the dream can be rewritten. Every morning is an invitation to step into a new role, a higher self, a truer version of you. Ask yourself, who do I agree to be today? Not what do I want, but who do I embody? Desire without identity becomes struggle. Embodying the identity of the fulfilled collapses the gap. You're not chasing. It's already yours. Visualize yourself as an actor on a stage. The costume you wear determines the story you live. A king's robe summons a kingdom. A beggar's cloak summons scraps. The audience, your reality, responds not to your wish, but to your attire. Which costume will you choose tonight? The choice isn't made once, it's made with every breath, every thought, every agreement. To shift your identity, you first have to soften the grip of the old one. Whisper to your subconscious, "Thank you for protecting me, but I choose differently now." This simple act disarms resistance. It signals that you're ready for new attire. From there, start rehearsing the new dream in your imagination. Walk, breathe, and think as though it were already true. Identity thrives on rehearsal. At first, the old self might protest. Doubts rise, memories surface, fear calls you back. Don't fight these echoes. See them as shadows dissolving in new light. They're not proof of failure, but evidence of transition. The more you persist in embodying your chosen identity, the quieter the echoes become. Soon they vanish, leaving only the new song of self. Identity is magnetic. When you wear it inwardly, people, opportunities, and experiences reorganize to match it. This isn't coincidence, it's coherence. Life can't resist the vibration of your chosen self. Even silence carries a different frequency when your identity changes. Others sense it, often before you speak. Reality is compelled to echo the identity you live. Know this: you're not trapped in yesterday's dream. You're the dreamer, and you can dream a new one. Identity is the most powerful portal to becoming. Don't ask, "What should I do?" Ask, "Who am I willing to be?" Once you answer that, everything else arranges itself. You're not just shaping a life, you're shaping the dreamer of it. And that dreamer is infinite. Chapter 4. The Observer's Gift. Every moment you look at the world, you're not just seeing, you're shaping. Observation is more than a passive act. It's a brush painting on the canvas of possibility. Science calls it the observer effect, but mystics knew it long before. What you hold in your awareness starts to solidify into form. Your gaze is power. Wherever you place it, reality bends to follow. Think of your attention as light streaming through a magnifying glass. Scattered, it warms nothing. Focused, it sets fire. In the same way, your awareness scattered on fears keeps you powerless. But concentrated on your vision, it becomes a force that ignites creation. You're not helpless under your circumstances. You're the one choosing which fire to light. The universe is a field of infinite possibilities. But only the possibilities you observe with conviction become solid in your life. That's why worry feels heavy. It's observation misused. It feeds what you don't want. And that's why gratitude feels light. It directs your gaze toward blessings and expands them. The world becomes what you consistently watch. Ancient teachers spoke of the eye as a portal of creation. They warned that to dwell on shadows is to invite shadows, but to behold light is to summon light. What you watch, you weave. What you witness, you welcome. Each moment becomes a sacred choice. Will you gaze at despair or at destiny? The eye is your hidden key. You might ask, how do I shift what I observe when fear keeps demanding my attention? The answer lies in gentle redirection. Don't battle fear, because fighting only feeds it. Instead, softly return your gaze again and again to what you choose. Like training the muscles of your body, the muscles of your attention grow stronger with practice. Soon, your natural gaze will rest on truth, not turmoil. Imagine your awareness as a tuning fork resonating in a vast hall. Strike the note of lack, and the hall reverberates with emptiness. Strike the note of fulfillment, and the walls echo with abundance. The fork can't choose both at once. So too with your observation. You can't hold two frequencies at the same time. The one you choose becomes your lived experience. Observation isn't limited to your eyes being open during the day. Even in imagination, the act of seeing shapes your reality. When you close your eyes and envision your desired state, your subconscious treats it as observation. It can't tell the difference between memory and vision. So to dwell inwardly is to call reality forward. The unseen responds as if it's already been seen. There's a hidden generosity in this gift. Nothing you observe in love is ever wasted. Even if results seem delayed, the world has already shifted. Seeds sprout unseen before breaking the soil. So, don't doubt the moments you've spent gazing at your higher self. Each one has been a thread woven into the fabric of your becoming. Remember this above all else. Your attention is the most sacred currency you possess. Spend it with care, because reality always changes in the direction of your gaze. Stop feeding the visions that drain you. Start nourishing the images that lift you up. Observation isn't passive, it's creation in motion, and this gift has always been yours. Chapter 5. The River of Surrender. Flow is the lesson that water has carried through the centuries. It bends around stone, glides past obstacles, and carves canyons, not by force, but by patience. In surrender, water doesn't weaken, it triumphs. So too with your becoming. The moment you release resistance, the current carries you forward. You're not here to push against the river, you're here to be carried by it. Every human heart has feared letting go. The mind clings to control, believing that safety lies in the grip. But the tighter you hold on, the greater the struggle. Letting go feels like falling, but in truth it's being lifted. Surrender is the art of trusting that the unseen current knows better than your fearful mind. The river remembers the ocean, even when you can't see it. Think of all the times in your life when trying harder only brought exhaustion. Doors closed, plans collapsed, energy drained. Now, recall the times when you finally released your grip, and suddenly things aligned. This isn't coincidence, it's the law of surrender. The current moves when you stop fighting its direction. What once felt heavy becomes effortless. There's a sacred paradox here. Surrender is the highest form of power. It doesn't abandon responsibility, it releases the illusion of control. You still choose the boat, the oars, and the direction of your gaze, but you no longer thrash against the water. Instead, you allow the deeper tide to guide you toward shores your mind couldn't map. Your body feels this truth before your mind. Relax your shoulders, unclench your hands, breathe more slowly. With each release, you send a signal to your subconscious. I trust. That signal rearranges the world. The quantum realm responds not to force, but to frequency, and surrender is coherence in its purest form. Resistance collapses, harmony emerges. Stories passed down in temples tell of sages who let go of all certainty, only to find themselves carried into abundance. They trusted the path, even though it was unseen, and the path revealed itself beneath their feet. The lesson hasn't changed. Surrender first, and life will rise to meet you. The river is never still. It's always carrying you closer to becoming. Surrender doesn't mean apathy. It means aligning with what already supports you. Like wings catching air, surrender allows you to rise without effort. Fighting the wind is exhausting. Yielding to it creates flight. In the same way, releasing fear creates acceleration. Trust isn't passive. It's propulsion hidden in softness. Each night before sleep, whisper to yourself, I release the weight, I allow the way. As you drift into dreams, imagine yourself floating on a vast river with stars reflected on its surface. Feel the current carrying you gently. This practice dissolves subconscious resistance. The more you rehearse surrender, the more reality bends with grace. The river of surrender doesn't abandon you, it saves you. It doesn't strip you of direction, it clears the path. The truth hidden in every current is this: you were never meant to fight your way into becoming, you were meant to flow. And when you yield to the river, it will always bring you home. Chapter 6. The Seed Principle. Every transformation begins unseen, hidden in silence, like a seed buried beneath the soil. At first glance, nothing appears to be happening. The ground looks empty, lifeless, unchanged. But beneath the surface, a miracle is already in motion. Roots reach, life stirs, and the invisible prepares to become visible. Your becoming follows the same secret rhythm. Patience is the companion of the seed. No farmer yells at the ground to hasten growth because they know that time and trust must do their work. In the same way, your soul's unfolding can't be rushed by panic or forced by fear. Growth is encoded within you. It waits only for nourishment, faith, rest, and willingness. When these are present, blossoming is inevitable. The seed carries its blueprint from the beginning. An acorn will never wonder whether to become an oak. It holds its destiny within its very design. You too carry a code written deep in your being. You don't invent who you're becoming, you reveal it. The hidden law unfolds naturally when you align with that original design. It's tempting to judge your life by what you see on the surface. Days may look stagnant, dreams may seem delayed, and hope may feel faint. But remember, the most vital part of growth always happens out of sight. The invisible prepares the visible. Trust that what looks still is actually alive with unseen movement. Nurturing the seed isn't a matter of force, but of consistency. Sunlight, water, and soil together create the right conditions in your life. Those conditions are gratitude, faith, and surrender. Practice them daily, even when no immediate result appears. This steadiness becomes the silent water that feeds your becoming. Every doubt is like a stone placed on top of the soil, blocking the sprout. Every act of faith is like rain softening the earth. Which will you choose to give your seed? Guard your inner garden well. Don't speak against your own becoming. Speak life. Speak trust. Speak certainty. Because your words are either nourishment or poison. In ancient myths, seeds were symbols of resurrection and renewal. They taught that endings are never truly endings, but beginnings hidden in disguise. So too with your delays and losses. They aren't death, but incubation. What falls into the ground may look lost, yet it rises again, greater than before. Trust the rhythm of renewal. Imagine your desired self as a seed already planted in the soil of your being. Close your eyes and see its roots spreading, unseen but steady. Feel the inevitability of its growth, the certainty of its unfolding. Don't rush it. Simply hold it in faith, as the earth holds the seed in silence. The seed principle reminds you that your becoming isn't in question, it's assured. Growth isn't your burden, it's your nature. Your task isn't to force, but to nurture. Rest in the truth that every dream planted in alignment will bloom in its time. You are the garden, and the garden is already alive. Chapter 7. Conscious Sleep as a Portal. Night isn't just rest, it's passage. When your body surrenders to sleep, the gates of your subconscious swing open and the hidden law flows freely. During these hours, resistance loosens and reality reshapes around your inner state. What you dwell on before sleep travels inward, planting itself like seeds in fertile ground. The dreamer becomes the creator.
For centuries, mystics prepared for sleep as if they were entering a temple. They whispered intentions, rehearsed visions, and aligned their hearts before closing their eyes. They understood that the sleeping mind doesn't question, it accepts. To fall asleep with fear is to water fear. To fall asleep with faith is to water destiny. The choice you make each night is sacred.
Think about how many nights you've fallen asleep replaying doubts, regrets, or anxieties. Each thought pressed into your subconscious as instruction. And yet, the reverse is just as true. Fall asleep in gratitude, and your life will bloom with evidence of it. Of abundance. Drift off to sleep imagining wholeness, and you'll wake up closer to it. Sleep listens to the last instruction you give it. The subconscious mind is most open when the conscious mind relaxes. This happens in that hazy space, the drowsy border between being awake and being asleep. Here, impressions sink in deeply without any resistance. Whisper to yourself, I am aligned, I am whole, I am becoming. Picture your ideal self as if it's already real. Let that image be the last thing your mind holds onto. You can think of this practice as entering a dream laboratory. In this space, you rehearse your identity and shape the outcomes you want. Your body rests, but your soul remembers. Quantum possibility bends to the frequency you carry into your dream. By training your nights, you reshape your days. Sleep becomes the easiest way to manifest what you desire. The ancients taught that the dream world wasn't separate, but connected, a corridor between dimensions. They believed messages, symbols, and transformations were born during those hours. Whether that's literal or metaphorical, the truth remains. What you carry into your dreams comes back to you magnified. To neglect sleep is to neglect one of the greatest pathways to becoming who you're meant to be. Start this practice gently. Don't pressure yourself to create vivid images. Even the softest thought of fulfillment, repeated nightly, becomes a powerful current over time. Your subconscious accepts that identity as normal, and reality adjusts to match it. Persistence is what matters here, not perfection. After all, sleep doesn't strain, it allows. Imagine lying down tonight with a clear ritual. You release the weight of the day. You breathe slowly, calming your body's rhythm. You bring to mind one image, the life already lived, the self already whole. Then, you hand it over to the night like a sacred offering. Sleep carries it inward, weaving it into the fabric of your being. Conscious sleep is a hidden doorway that most people ignore, yet it's the simplest, most natural form of alignment. You don't need to fight for change, you only need to rest into it. Each night is a portal, each dream a seed. By honoring the power of sleep, you wake up not only rested but transformed. The night is your ally. Use it wisely. Chapter 8. The Energy of Belief. Belief is the invisible force guiding your path of becoming. Every outcome you experience is a result of what you believe to be true. Belief doesn't just interpret reality, it codes it, frames it, and sustains it. To believe is to give the universe permission to build on your conviction. Where belief is strong, reality bends quickly. Where belief is absent, manifestation crumbles like dust. You might not always see your beliefs, but you're always living them.
They echo in your choices, your words, your expectations. A hidden belief of unworthiness can quietly sabotage opportunities, while a quiet belief of sufficiency multiplies blessings. Beliefs, whether known or hidden, act as architects. They aren't passive. They're the blueprint shaping your life. Think about the difference between wishing and believing. Wishing reaches outward, always trying to grasp, but never quite succeeding.
Belief rests inward, already certain, already claimed. It's not desperate, it's magnetic. That's why belief feels light, even in difficult times. It carries authority. To believe is to know that what's unseen is already yours, even before the evidence appears. The subconscious is most loyal to repeated belief. It doesn't judge whether that belief is empowering or destructive. It accepts and magnifies whatever you impress upon it. That's why doubt multiplies itself, and faith does the same. What you rehearse inwardly becomes the pattern of your becoming. Belief is the rehearsal hall where reality takes its script. Ancient sages declared, "According to your belief, so it is done unto you." They weren't speaking metaphorically, but stating a law. The universe reflects conviction, not uncertainty. Belief isn't begging, it's agreement. It's a contract signed in silence. When you choose a belief, you enter into a covenant with creation itself, and creation fulfills its side without fail. To shift a belief, you must embody it before the evidence appears. Say to yourself, "I am chosen, I am abundant, I am whole." At first, the words might feel hollow, but repetition fills them with substance. The subconscious eventually accepts them, and the world adjusts. Evidence follows belief, never the other way around. That's the hidden order of becoming. Visualize belief as a frequency humming in your chest. Every interaction, every decision, every outcome vibrates in tune with that hum. If you hold scarcity, the hum is weak and discordant, attracting fragments. If you hold abundance, the hum resonates clearly, pulling wholeness into your orbit. The music of your belief conducts the symphony of your life. Don't confuse belief with stubbornness. True belief is flexible, open, and trusting. It doesn't force, it aligns. It's less about tightening your grip and more about releasing resistance. Belief is an energy field, not a clenched fist. The stronger it is, the less you have to push. The world meets you halfway when belief holds steady. Belief is the golden thread tying identity, imagination, and surrender into one fabric. Without it, the cloth unravels. With it, the fabric becomes unbreakable. Guard your beliefs carefully, because they're the engines behind every shift. What you dare to believe, you dare to live, and what you dare to live, you inevitably become. Chapter 9. Shifting from striving to allowing. The world often glorifies striving, praising endless effort as the path to worth. Yet striving carries a hidden weight. It whispers that you're not enough until something changes. Allowing speaks a different language. It says that becoming unfolds most quickly when you align, not when you wrestle. Allowing doesn't mean apathy. It means letting reality arrange itself without resistance. Think of a flower. It doesn't strain to open its petals. It simply responds to the sun. Striving is like pulling at the bud, forcing it open before its time. Allowing is resting in trust, letting the natural rhythm guide the bloom. In the same way, your destiny requires warmth and presence, not panic and force. Alignment is the true catalyst. Many people confuse allowing with weakness, but to allow is to stand firmly in faith, refusing to be shaken by appearances. It's an active state, a declaration that the field bends in your favor. Striving comes from lack, while allowing flows from sufficiency. One drains, the other nourishes. Your becoming depends on which you choose to embody. Striving often locks you into cycles of exhaustion. You chase, you force, you demand, and still the results slip away. That's because striving anchors you in the frequency of not yet. Allowing lifts you into the frequency of already. In that shift, the waiting collapses. What once seemed far away suddenly appears within reach, as though it had been waiting all along. Allowing requires a gentle courage. It asks you to trust what you can't yet see, to release the grasping hands of control and open the palms of surrender. It's less about doing and more about being. When you embody the energy of completion, life responds with confirmation. You become a magnet, not a pursuer. Visualize this. You're standing in a river, fighting the current, exhausting yourself. Striving keeps you locked in that struggle. Now, imagine lifting your feet, letting the current carry you. Suddenly, progress is effortless. The same waters that resisted you now transport you. That's the shift from striving to allowing. It's the art of being carried. Ancient teachings echo this truth. Let go of the how, embody the who. These words reveal the hidden law. You don't need to force the mechanics of manifestation. You only need to inhabit the identity that matches your desire. From there, the how arranges itself naturally, without strain. The unseen works silently on your behalf. In practice, start by noticing where you're still striving. Ask yourself, am I pushing because I don't trust? Am I exhausting myself because I fear nothing will come otherwise? Then, gently redirect into allowing. Breathe deeper. Whisper the truth. I allow the path to unfold. Each repetition untangles striving's knots. To allow is to remember that life wants your becoming as much as you do. The law doesn't resist you. It mirrors you. Striving delays, but allowing accelerates. Step into this truth and release the weight of effort. You're not here to claw at the future. You're here to rest into it. And as you allow, reality rushes to meet you. Chapter 10. The Magnetic Field of Desire. Desire isn't weakness. It's a compass pointing toward the life you're meant to embody. Deep within every longing lies a message from the soul, guiding you closer to alignment. Too often, you've been told to distrust desire, to label it dangerous or selfish. Yet true desire is sacred. It reveals the blueprint of your becoming. The pull you feel isn't random. It's direction. There's a difference between craving and calling. Craving grasps at what the ego thinks will fill its emptiness. Calling, however, rises quietly from the heart, steady and undeniable. One leaves you restless, the other makes you whole. When you honor authentic desire, you activate the magnetic field that bends reality toward you. This is the gravity of the soul. Think of a star. Its mass creates a field strong enough to draw planets, moons, and light itself into orbit. Your authentic desire functions the same way. When you hold it with trust instead of desperation, it radiates coherence. The field around you organizes to meet it. Desire isn't a hollow hunger. It's gravity at work, pulling destiny closer. You might fear desire because it once led to disappointment. Yet disappointment doesn't mean the desire was false. it means resistance blocked its flow. The law responds to pure desire, unburdened by doubt. When you cleanse the fear around it, desire becomes unstoppable. Don't fear the ache you feel. It's evidence of life guiding you. Ancient mystics described desire as a fire in the chest. They taught that when tended gently, it warmed and illuminated, but when smothered or denied, it turned destructive. The same fire that can consume can also create. To honor desire is to keep the fire alive, giving it space to glow without burning out. Your longing is a sacred flame. Allow yourself to imagine living as if your desire were already fulfilled. Close your eyes and let the vision wrap around you. Feel the satisfaction of its completion, the peace of its presence. In doing so, you amplify its magnetism. The subconscious can't distinguish between vision and memory. To feel it now is to summon it closer. When you resist desire, you resist yourself. Suppressing it doesn't make it vanish. It buries it deeper, only to resurface later. Embrace it instead. Speak to your longing as to a friend. I see you. I welcome you. Lead me. This conversation transforms desire from an enemy into an ally. What you welcome expands. To live without honoring desire is to drift without a compass. But to live guided by authentic longing is to walk a path carved in alignment. The journey becomes smoother, not because challenges vanish, but because direction is clear. Desire pulls you through the spiral of becoming, anchoring you to your truest self. Desire is your signal to the universe, a vibration announcing your readiness to expand. Don't silence it. Let it hum in your chest. Let it call reality toward you. When held in faith, it becomes magnet, field, and map. Trust the pull within. It's your soul remembering its way home. Chapter 11. The Role of Imagination. Imagination isn't a child's plaything. It's the secret workshop of reality. Within its halls, shapes are formed before they ever touch the material world. Every invention, every work of art, every new beginning has first lived as an image within the mind. When you imagine, you're not escaping, you're rehearsing. The unseen listens to the stage you build within. Close your eyes, and a world appears. You see colors, faces, landscapes that don't yet exist outside you. Yet to the subconscious, these visions are as real as memories. It can't tell the difference. That's why imagination is so powerful. It impresses possibility as if it had already occurred. In those impressions, the fabric of reality begins to weave. Many dismiss imagination as fantasy, but what they call fantasy is the seedbed of manifestation. Without it, life repeats what has already been seen. With it, new futures open. To imagine vividly is to send out frequencies shaping the field around you. The clearer the image, the stronger the signal. Creation responds not to vague hope, but to detailed vision. Think of imagination as rehearsal for becoming. Athletes visualize before performance. Mystics envision before prayer. Creators see before they build. Their results appear faster because reality bends to their rehearsal. You too can step into this practice. Live in your mind as if the moment were already true, and the outer world adjusts itself accordingly. There's an ancient phrase, as within, so without. Imagination is the doorway through which this truth operates. When you see yourself whole, reality aligns. When you see yourself broken, reality follows. You can't escape the mirror of inner vision, yet this isn't punishment, it's empowerment. Change the inner film, and the outer screen shifts. Imagination thrives when it's emotional. Don't simply picture the outcome, feel it. Let the sensation of joy, peace, or freedom fill your body. Emotions are the colors that give life to the picture. The subconscious accepts what is felt more quickly than what is spoken. A vision wrapped in emotion becomes magnetic, impossible for reality to ignore. Begin with small acts of imagination. Before bed, see yourself waking up renewed. Imagine conversations unfolding with harmony, opportunities flowing with ease. These little rehearsals send signals into the field. Over time, they accumulate, forming a pattern the world can't resist. Consistency is the power of imagination. It builds momentum until manifestation is inevitable. Guard your imagination, because it's sacred territory. If you let fear dominate, the inner workshop builds shadows. If you guide it toward trust, it builds temples of light. The choice is always yours. Directing imagination is like steering a ship. The waves may push, but the helm is in your hands. Where you point, life follows. Imagination is the most intimate partnership you have with creation. It's the whisper between you and the unseen, the contract written in image and feeling. Use it not for escape, but for embodiment. Imagine not what you want, but who you already are. In that rehearsal, you dissolve the gap, and when the curtain rises, the vision stands before you. Chapter 12. The Law of Inner Resonance. Resonance is the hidden rhythm beneath every encounter and event. Nothing can stay in your life unless it vibrates in harmony with who you are within. The outer world isn't separate, it's the echo of your inner frequency. When thought, emotion, and belief align, they generate coherence, and coherence summons matching experiences. You don't chase resonance, you become it. Picture a tuning fork struck in an empty hole. Another fork nearby begins to hum without being touched, simply because the frequencies match. That's how resonance works in your life. Opportunities, people, and events vibrate toward you not by force, but by frequency. The world can't resist the song you continually play. It must join in. If you wonder why certain patterns repeat, look not at the world, but at your vibration. Life is faithful. It mirrors exactly what you hold inside. Chaos within creates chaos without. Harmony within brings harmony without. Resonance isn't negotiable, it's precise. To shift your reality, shift the resonance you embody daily. It's possible to think one thing, yet feel another. The mind might say, "I am abundant," while the heart trembles in scarcity. This dissonance weakens the signal. Reality receives mixed instructions, and the outcome appears fragmented. To live in resonance, thought and feeling must agree. Integrity between the two creates the strongest field. Ancient teachers spoke of the heart as the true instrument of resonance. Science now confirms that the heart radiates a measurable field stronger than the brain. When the heart feels gratitude, love, or peace, the field expands, pulling experiences into coherence. That's why aligning the heart is more powerful than forcing the mind. The heart tunes the song of life. To embody resonance, practice inhabiting the state you desire before evidence arrives. If peace is your goal, breathe as if peace were already yours. If abundance is your call, walk as if it were natural. These small acts create harmony within, and harmony summons proof without. Resonance is reality's invitation to rearrange itself. Resistance often arises when the inner note clashes with the outer world. Don't panic when this happens. See it as evidence that the shift has begun. The old frequencies are dissolving, and life is recalibrating. Stay steady in your chosen resonance, and the outer will eventually match. Hold the tone until the field adjusts. You're not attracting by effort, but by alignment. Like attracts like because frequency recognizes itself. To hold lack and demand abundance is futile. To embody abundance and release grasping is inevitable. The law of resonance is impartial. It gives back the song you sing. Sing carefully, because reality listens closely. In the end, resonance reminds you that nothing is random. Every arrival and departure echoes the vibration you hold. This isn't punishment, it's precision. You're free to retune at any moment. Choose the harmony you desire, live it inwardly, and watch the field reassemble itself. Resonance is the signature of effortless becoming, and it's always in your hands. Chapter 13. Emotional Alchemy. Emotions aren't mistakes, they're messengers. Each one carries a frequency, a vibration that colors your reality. Fear contracts, joy expands, gratitude elevates, grief transforms. To reject emotion is to reject guidance, yet to embrace it is to harness its hidden power. Emotional alchemy is the art of turning raw feeling into fuel for becoming. Often you're taught to suppress what feels uncomfortable. Anger, sadness, shame. They're pushed down, hidden from sight. But what's suppressed doesn't vanish. It festers, waiting to resurface. Alchemy begins when you stop burying and start listening. Within each emotion lies wisdom, waiting to be transmuted into clarity and strength. Picture a flame consuming wood. The log resists at first, yet eventually it surrenders to the fire, transforming into light and heat. So too with emotion. Fear, once held and acknowledged, can ignite courage. Sadness, once honored, can deepen compassion. The fire doesn't destroy the wood. It reveals its hidden energy. To practice emotional alchemy, begin by naming what you feel without judgment. Say to yourself, I feel fear, I feel doubt, I feel longing. The act of naming removes the shadow's grip. Awareness turns heaviness into movement. Resistance freezes emotion. Presence transforms it. To see is to set free. The subconscious treats emotions as instructions. If you resist them, it assumes danger and reinforces the state. If you embrace them, it releases the charge and shifts into coherence. That's why allowing tears heals, why breathing through fear softens it, why expressing love multiplies it. Emotion is energy in motion. Let it move. Ancient mystics called this turning lead into gold. Lead was the heavy, dense energy of fear and shame. Gold was the radiant energy of love and faith. They understood that no feeling is wasted. Every emotion, when transmuted, adds to the treasure of the soul. You don't discard your shadows, you refine them. Imagine sitting quietly with your fear as if it were a child. Instead of scolding, you comfort. Instead of pushing away, you listen. Fear softens, no longer needing to shout for your attention. In that moment, you realize fear was never the enemy. It was a guide showing where faith is waiting to emerge. Practice daily by asking, what is this feeling teaching me? How can I transform it? Sadness might be pointing to the value of connection. Anger might reveal the need for boundaries. Joy might affirm alignment. Every feeling, once translated, becomes wisdom, and wisdom builds the foundation of effortless becoming. Emotional alchemy isn't the denial of darkness, but the mastery of it. When you learn to transform pain into power, heaviness into insight, despair into trust, you become unshakable. The field responds not to suppressed emotions, but to integrated ones. To live this way is to walk as fire turned into light, and light is what you were always meant to be. Chapter 14. Time as illusion. Time appears linear, yet beneath perception, it bends, folds, and dissolves. Clocks tick, calendars turn, and memories line up in neat rows, but consciousness isn't bound by these measures. What you call past and future are simply layers of the same field. Your becoming doesn't wait on years. It unfolds the instant you align with it. Time is only a costume worn by eternity. Moments of awe reveal this truth. When beauty grips you, when silence deepens, when love consumes, all sense of time disappears. Minutes feel like hours, or hours vanish into minutes. In those states, you're tasting the real nature of existence, timelessness. Alignment makes time irrelevant. The soul doesn't measure in hours, it measures in resonance. Consider how quickly change can arrive once you embody it inwardly. What seemed impossible for years suddenly falls into place in a day. This isn't luck. It's the collapse of time. The delay was never in reality, but in resistance. The moment resistance dissolves, timelines compress. What you thought required decades can happen in moments. The illusion of time often feeds doubt. You look at the calendar and whisper, it's too late. You count the years and conclude, I'm behind. But the law of becoming knows no delay. You aren't late, you're right on time. Every detour, every pause was part of the preparation. Time bends to the rhythm of your soul. not the clock. Science itself hints at this mystery. Quantum theory shows that observation can affect not only present states, but retroactively influence outcomes. Mystics knew this as rewriting the past through new identity. When you shift who you are, even your memories rearrange, seen from a new lens. The story you carry changes, and so does your future. To live beyond time, dwell in the end now. Instead of waiting for the day when your vision arrives, embody it as present. Walk as the one who already holds it. Feel as the one who has arrived. Time then collapses to meet your state. Reality isn't bound to sequence, it's bound to resonance. Imagine standing before a spiral rather than a line. Each turn of the spiral is a moment, yet all exists simultaneously. You can step onto any layer when you align with its frequency. The future isn't far ahead, it's already here, waiting for recognition. You travel the spiral not by distance but by vibration. That's why presence is so powerful. When you root yourself in the now, you exit the illusion of delay. The present isn't small, it's infinite. From it, all futures unfold. You don't need to chase tomorrow. You need only to deepen today. The more fully you inhabit the now, the faster the spiral opens. Time as illusion isn't meant to confuse, but to liberate. Release the weight of deadlines and the fear of delay. Trust that becoming isn't measured in hours, but in alignment. The clock can't chain your destiny. Eternity lives in every breath you take. When you truly live by that truth, time isn't your boss. It works for you. Chapter 15. Your subconscious gateway. Underneath all your thoughts, there's a huge, quiet space, your subconscious. It's like the gatekeeper to who you're becoming, keeping track of everything and quietly shaping the world around you. Unlike your conscious mind, which is always questioning things, your subconscious just accepts. It doesn't argue, it follows orders. Whatever you consistently put into it becomes the basis for your life. This hidden doorway is most open when you're relaxed, right before you fall asleep, just after you wake up, or when you're meditating deeply. That's when its doors are wide open, and images, words, and feelings can easily slip inside. That's why it's so important what you think about before bed. Your subconscious soaks up those last thoughts and turns them into your reality. Every belief you have today started as a tiny seed planted in your subconscious. A lot of those seeds weren't even your choice. They came from your parents, teachers, or society. But they still grew, shaping who you are and what you expect from life. The great thing is, you can plant new seeds and get rid of the old roots. The soil of your subconscious is always ready to grow something new. Repetition is how your subconscious understands things best. One thought might not make much of an impact, but if you keep repeating it, it'll sink in. That's why affirmations, when you say them with feeling, can change things. Just words might not do much, but words that are full of emotion become commands.
Your subconscious takes them as the truth and starts to change your reality to match. Emotion speeds up this process. What you feel deeply goes in quickly. That's why fear can show up just as easily as faith. Your subconscious doesn't judge either one. It just amplifies them. It doesn't care what you want or don't want. It just makes it bigger. To guide who you're becoming, you need to feed it feelings that match the person you want to be. In the old days, people treated the subconscious like a sacred temple. They knew that the images they put in it were like offerings.
Rituals, chants, and symbols weren't just silly superstitions. They were ways to impress the mind beneath the mind. These things worked because they skipped the logical part of your brain and spoke to it in the language it understands: repetition, images, and emotions. To work with this gateway, start by creating a simple picture of who you want to be. See it clearly, feel it strongly, and repeat it every night. Don't fight with doubt. Just gently feed your subconscious until it accepts it. Over time, that identity will feel normal, easy, and unquestioned. And when your subconscious accepts it, reality has no choice but to follow along. Pay attention to how your life already reflects the beliefs you have in your subconscious. Are you living with plenty or with barely enough? Are you peaceful or always struggling? These things aren't accidents. They're reflections of what's going on inside. To change the reflection, you have to change the seed you planted. No amount of outside force can do what planting new seeds inside can.
Your subconscious isn't your enemy. It's your ally. It's incredibly loyal, doing whatever you tell it. So guard it carefully, feed it thoughtfully, and treat it like the sacred gateway it is. Because once it's aligned with you, your subconscious doesn't just influence your life. It completely transforms it through this gateway. Effortlessly becoming who you're meant to be just falls into place. Chapter 16. The Quiet Power of Assumption. Assumption is like a hidden switch in the machine that creates reality. Unlike trying really hard or begging for things, it works quietly, without any resistance.
When you assume something is true, you're putting it directly into your subconscious. This quiet belief gets past any doubt because it's not just a hope, it's accepted as fact. The unseen world responds by changing things to match your assumption. Think about walking into a room and just knowing that the light will turn on when you flip the switch. You don't doubt it, you don't ask for it, you just expect it. That expectation is quiet, easy, and natural. In the same way, assuming that you're already the person you want to be makes it inevitable. Assumption is the subtle art of living as if you've already achieved your goal, instead of constantly trying to reach for it. The world often teaches you to wait for proof before you believe something. But the law of assumption turns that around. You believe first, and the proof comes later. When you hold a certain state of mind long enough, reality has no choice but to line up with it. This isn't just imagining things, it's embodying them. To assume is like claiming the crown before you're even crowned, knowing that it was always meant for you. Resistance often shows up when your mind whispers, "But what if it's not true?" That's where the power of assumption comes in. It doesn't argue with the evidence, it just ignores it. Like a king who doesn't have to explain why he's on the throne, assumption doesn't argue. It just lives as if it's already true. And by living that way, it becomes true. Reality can't fight against consistent being. Mystics talked about this principle in sacred words. When you pray, believe that you've already received what you're asking for, and it will be yours. The secret is to act as if it's already happening. Assumption puts you in a state of fulfillment right now, not someday. It closes the gap between wanting and having, turning waiting into embodying. What you embody has to become real. To practice this, choose something simple that you want. Assume tonight that it's already yours. Walk differently, breathe differently, talk as if your life has already proven it to be true. At first, the outside world might disagree with you, but stay steady. The longer you hold on to that assumption, the more the world will bend to match it. The universe can't resist the feeling of lived certainty. This practice doesn't ignore reality, it reshapes it. Just like a seed holds the whole tree inside, assumption holds the full manifestation within itself. You might not see the sprout yet, but the tree is definitely coming. To assume is to water the seed with certainty, knowing that it will bloom in its own time. Assumption grows best in stillness. Right before you fall asleep, imagine the scene of your fulfillment. Feel the weight of it, the warmth of it, the texture of it. Don't beg for it, just rest in it. Your subconscious will accept that scene as fact and quietly start working on it. Then, morning becomes a continuation of the assumption you made the night before, carrying it into your waking life. The quiet power of assumption is in its simplicity. No struggle, no endless effort, just the steady embodiment of truth before you see the proof. You don't need to shout, force, or plead. You just need to live as if the story has already been written. And when you do, the world will adjust to read the script you've chosen. Chapter 17. Synchronicities as signposts. Life speaks to you in patterns, and synchronicities are its language. When two things happen together in a way that's too perfect to be a coincidence, you're seeing more than just chance. You're seeing the universe reflect what's going on inside you. These moments are like little whispers, confirming that you're not alone as you become who you're meant to be. They're like markers on a path, reminding you that things are aligning beneath the surface. Think about a time when you thought of someone and they called you within minutes, or when a book showed up with the exact answer you were looking for. These aren't accidents, they're signposts. Reality is responding to your energy, weaving meaningful connections around you. The more you pay attention to them, the more they'll show up, creating a tapestry of guidance. Synchronicities are the proof your soul needs when your logical mind is full of doubt. They show you that unseen forces are at work, arranging details that you could never have planned. To dismiss them as just chance is to ignore guidance. To honor them is to trust more deeply. Each sign is a nod from the universe, saying, "Keep going, you're on the right track." Your subconscious also responds to being recognized. When you celebrate a synchronicity, you strengthen your belief that you're supported. That belief amplifies your energy, and more signs will follow. Doubt ignores the signal, but gratitude makes it louder. Just noticing is itself a form of creation. Awareness becomes a magnet. Mystics believed that synchronicities were the fingerprints of destiny. They taught their students to move in rhythm with these signs, to treat them like sacred breadcrumbs left by the soul. A door opening at just the right time, a meeting happening with perfect timing. These aren't random, they're guidance in action. The path is alive, and it reveals itself little by little. Don't demand synchronicities to appear on command. They happen naturally when you're in tune with yourself. Desperation clouds the signal, but surrender clears it. Live in alignment, and signs will flow without you having to ask. They're gifts, not tools for control. Their power is in their spontaneity, in the surprise that awakens awe and reverence. You can invite more synchronicities by paying closer attention. Start by quietly asking each morning, "Show me a sign of alignment today." Then, let go of any expectations. Go through your day being attentive, but not trying to force anything. A symbol, a phrase, or a meeting will catch your attention. That recognition will remind you that you're seen, carried, and guided. Every synchronicity is a bridge between your inner and outer worlds. They prove that what's stirring in your heart doesn't stay hidden. It vibrates outward and comes back to you as a reflection. When the same number, word, or symbol keeps repeating, ask yourself what within you is being echoed. These are mirrors, showing you what your soul already knows. The signposts of synchronicity are invitations to walk with trust. You don't need the whole map when the road lights up step by step. Follow the signs as they appear, and they'll lead you toward becoming who you're meant to be. The more you honor them, the clearer the path becomes. The universe is always speaking. You just need to pay attention. Chapter 18. Dissolving Resistance. The biggest thing stopping you from effortlessly becoming who you're meant to be isn't a lack of power, but the presence of resistance. Resistance hides as doubt, fear, tension, or constant striving. It whispers that you're not worthy, that change is impossible, that the path is blocked. But resistance doesn't have any real substance. It's just the shadow of disbelief. To get rid of it is to remember that you're free. Resistance gets stronger when you fight it. The more you push against fear, the stronger it gets. The more you battle doubt, the louder it becomes. Alchemy starts when you stop fighting and start allowing. By turning your awareness toward the resistance itself, you take away its power. What you see with compassion can't stay heavy. It starts to loosen. Notice how resistance feels in your body. It's the knot in your stomach, the tightness in your chest, the restless mind replaying the same story. Instead of ignoring it, breathe into it. Gently place your hand over the area, acknowledging that it's there. Whisper, "I see you." You can soften now. This simple act changes resistance from your enemy into your teacher. The subconscious often creates resistance as a way to protect you. Old patterns think they're keeping you safe from failure, rejection, or pain. When you understand this, you stop seeing resistance as sabotage and start seeing it as misguided loyalty. Thank it for its service, then guide it toward a new role, protecting you through alignment instead of fear. Visualization is a powerful tool here. Picture resistance as a dark fog around you. With each breath, imagine light expanding from your chest, effortlessly dissolving the fog. You don't need to force the fog away. It vanishes naturally in the presence of light. This imagery trains your subconscious to release tension without a struggle. Many spiritual traditions talked about surrender as the cure for resistance. They taught that holding on tight blocks the flow, but loosening your grip allows the current to move. To dissolve resistance, practice letting go of how things should be and resting in who you're becoming. When you let go of needing to control everything, things fall into place. When you embody the identity of fulfillment, the path unfolds without effort. Struggle fades away when you trust. Even gratitude helps to dissolve resistance. When you thank life for what is, even in small ways, you shift your focus from what's missing to what you already have. Gratitude softens the rigid walls built by fear. It tells your subconscious, we're safe, we're taken care of. In that safety, resistance melts away, your heart opens, and energy starts flowing again. Observe the difference. When resistance is gone, thoughts move freely, emotions lighten, and opportunities appear. It feels like life has unclenched its fist and opened its palm. This isn't a coincidence. It's resonance restored. Resistance blocked the signal. Releasing it clears the channel. What once felt far away starts rushing toward you. Dissolving resistance isn't a one-time thing, it's a constant practice. Each time fear rises up, meet it with awareness. Each time doubt speaks, answer with compassion. The more you soften, the more effortless the journey becomes. Resistance was never your true self. It was just the echo of forgetting. Your essence is flow, and flow is who you are. Chapter 19. The frequency of gratitude. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you politely after you receive something. It's a frequency, a vibration that tunes you into the flow of abundance. When you rest in gratitude, you change your perception from what's missing to what's present, from not having enough to having plenty. The universe responds immediately, echoing back the energy you're sending out. To be grateful now is to signal that more is already on its way. Imagine two people walking the same path. One only sees obstacles, while the other notices every gift along the way. The warmth of the sun, the breath in their lungs, the chance to start again. Even though their circumstances are the same, their realities are completely different. Gratitude is the choice that turns what's ordinary into something extraordinary. It multiplies whatever it touches. Gratitude gets rid of resistance because it confirms that you're safe. Fear says, I don't have enough, while gratitude says, I already have more than I ever imagined. This shift releases tension in your body and softens your mind's grip on the idea of scarcity. When your subconscious feels safe, it opens up, and when it opens up, it receives. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the gate. In ancient times, people practiced gratitude as a sacred ritual. They gave thanks before the harvest even arrived, blessing the fields as if abundance was already guaranteed. They understood that gratitude wasn't just a reaction, but a way to create reality. By giving thanks in advance, they aligned themselves with the timeline where the harvest was inevitable. You can do the same with every desire you have. Try starting and ending each day with simple acknowledgement. In the morning, take a deep breath and list 3 unseen blessings that are already unfolding in your life. At night, remember 3 moments that brought you joy, no matter how small. This daily rhythm impresses gratitude onto your subconscious, shifting its default state. Over time, life will bend to confirm your consistent thanks. Emotions amplify the power of gratitude. Don't just say, thank you, feel it. Let warmth spread in your chest. Let your breath deepen. Let your shoulders relax. That sensation is the frequency that's transmitting into the universe. Words alone might echo faintly, but words carried by feeling ripple loudly through the unseen. Gratitude felt is gratitude multiplied. Even challenges can be transformed through this lens. When you thank the lesson that's hidden within a struggle, the weight lifts. Gratitude doesn't deny pain, it redeems it. It whispers, "Even this serves me." In that acknowledgement, the energy of opposition softens, and what once seemed like a curse becomes a catalyst. Gratitude turns wounds into wisdom. Notice how people respond differently when you carry gratitude. Doors open, connections deepen, and kindness flows more freely. Gratitude shifts your aura, making you magnetic to harmony. It's not manipulation, it's resonance. The world mirrors the frequency you hold, and gratitude is one of the highest frequencies available to the soul. The frequency of gratitude reminds you that you were never lacking anything. You were just unaware of what you already had. When you live in thankfulness, every breath becomes proof of abundance, and every moment becomes sacred. Gratitude doesn't wait for a miracle. It is the miracle. And as you dwell in it, life can't help but give you more reasons to say thank you. Chapter 20. The Mirror of Relationships. Every person who comes into your life is a reflection, a mirror held up to who you're becoming. Some reflect your strengths, others reflect your wounds, and still others reflect your hidden potential. Relationships are never random. They're invitations to see yourself more clearly. Through them, you learn what you've embodied and what you're still resisting. Every connection is a classroom. Every bond is a teacher. Think about the friend who lifts you up. Their presence confirms that the joy and possibility you feel inside are real. Now think about the one who challenges or frustrates you. They're mirroring unhealed parts of yourself, calling you to integrate them. Neither reflection is a punishment. They're both guidance. The universe arranges these mirrors with precision, showing you where your energy stands. When you shift inwardly, your relationships shift outwardly. Some grow closer as they align with your new energy, while others drift away. This can feel like a loss, but it's just resonance in motion. The mirrors no longer match, so the bond dissolves. Bless those departures, because they clear space for new reflections that resonate with who you're becoming. Often, the deepest triggers come from those closest to you. Their words cut, their actions stir up buried pain. Instead of resisting, pause and ask yourself, what is this mirror showing me? The discomfort isn't meant to break you, but to awaken you. By facing the reflection with compassion, you dissolve the resistance within. The relationship becomes a form of alchemy. Ancient wisdom taught that partnerships are sacred unions of reflection. Lovers, friends, and even rivals serve as catalysts. Some come to ignite growth, others to confirm alignment, and some to challenge illusions. When you recognize this, blame fades and gratitude grows. Every mirror, whether gentle or harsh, serves your becoming. To change what you see in others, you first have to change what you carry within yourself. If you want loyalty, embody loyalty. If you want respect, hold respect for yourself. The mirror can't reflect what isn't there. That's why relationships transform when you transform. The world can't resist the energy you consistently live in. Notice how often your reactions to others are projections of your own beliefs. A kind gesture might be dismissed if you secretly believe you don't deserve it. A neutral word might wound you if you carry an old scar. These aren't truths about the other person. They're mirrors of your own story. Awareness breaks the illusion, allowing you to see clearly. You can also use relationships as portals for alignment. Speak blessings into them, hold visions of harmony, and embody the energy you want to receive. By doing so, you not only shift the dynamic, but also strengthen your own energy. Relationships aren't outside your field. They're part of it. Shifting yourself shifts the mirror. The mirror of relationships isn't meant to trap you, but to set you free. When you understand its language, you no longer fear what others reveal. You embrace it, knowing that every reflection is a step in your unfolding. Relationships are proof that you're never becoming who you're meant to be alone. The universe surrounds you with mirrors so you can see yourself fully. Chapter 21. Anchoring through rituals. Rituals are bridges between the unseen and the seen. They take what's invisible, intention, belief, energy, and give it a form that your subconscious can recognize. A candle lit, a breath repeated, a phrase whispered each morning. These small acts aren't superstitions, they're anchors, reminding your inner self of the direction you've chosen. Rituals root the journey of becoming into your daily life. Think of rituals as the language of your subconscious. The mind beneath the mind responds more to rhythm and repetition than to logic. When you do something consistently, it creates a pattern. That pattern becomes an inner compass, guiding your thoughts and feelings toward alignment. A simple daily ritual can do more to shape who you are than hours of trying hard. Morning is one of the most powerful times for ritual. When you wake up, your subconscious is still soft and open. Start with intention. Breathe deeply, place your hand over your heart, and whisper who you're becoming. This anchors your identity before the day even begins. Then, the world arranges itself around the tone you've set. Evening rituals hold just as much power before you go to sleep. Release the noise of the day, write down what you're grateful for, visualize your fulfilled self, or speak a phrase of surrender. These acts seal your subconscious with images of becoming. While you rest, those impressions take root. Rituals at night turn sleep into sacred ground for transformation. Your body also responds to symbolic acts. A gesture of opening your hands, standing tall, or bowing in reverence carries meaning beyond words. These movements bypass your thoughts and speak directly to your subconscious. Ancient cultures understood this, creating rituals of dance, posture, and silence. The body remembers, and through ritual, it transmits that memory to your soul. Don't confuse ritual with complexity. The power is in consistency, not extravagance. One small action repeated daily reshapes your identity far more than elaborate ceremonies performed rarely. Your subconscious loves rhythm. It trusts the signal you send again and again. Through simple devotion, you create lasting change. Rituals also mark transitions, helping your mind and spirit release the old and embrace the new. Lighting a candle to end one chapter, writing intentions to begin another, cleansing a space with breath or sound, all of these tell your subconscious, the past is closed, the future begins now. This clarity clears resistance and opens the path. When practiced with awareness, rituals awaken sacredness in the ordinary. Drinking water becomes a blessing, walking becomes meditation, and silence becomes prayer. Life itself becomes a series of rituals, each anchoring you deeper into alignment. In this way, nothing is wasted. Every act becomes part of who you're becoming. Anchoring through rituals reminds you that transformation doesn't happen in one big leap. It happens in a steady rhythm, like the beat of a drum. Each repetition writes the law of becoming deeper into your being. Through ritual, you weave intention into reality, and in time, the invisible becomes flesh. Chapter 22. The Shadow's Contribution. Within every soul lives a shadow, the collection of traits, fears, and memories that have been pushed away. Most people try to escape it, fearing its darkness. But the shadow isn't your enemy. It's your hidden ally, holding the very power you need to grow. When you turn toward it with courage, the shadow reveals its gifts. Avoiding it keeps you trapped, but integrating it sets you free. The shadow often shows up through triggers, moments when anger flares, shame resurfaces, or jealousy burns. These aren't random. They're signals pointing to unhealed parts of yourself. Instead of rejecting them, pause and listen. Each trigger whispers, "Here lies the piece you abandoned. Here is where you're not yet whole." The shadow isn't trying to sabotage you. It's seeking reunion. Think about how the night sky seems empty until stars pierce its darkness. The shadow works the same way. Its darkness isn't absence, but potential. Within fear hides courage, within grief hides compassion, and within anger hides passion waiting to be refined. To face the shadow is to uncover these stars, hidden gifts disguised as pain. Ancient traditions saw the shadow as a sacred doorway. Shamans called it the underworld, and mystics named it the dark night of the soul. They understood that going into the shadow has to happen before rebirth can occur. To deny this journey is to remain incomplete. To embrace it is to return with treasure. The shadow is the crucible of transformation. Working with your shadow starts with honesty. When jealousy arises, admit it. When fear consumes you, name it. When rage burns, acknowledge it. These admissions dissolve shame, which is the shadow's greatest shield. Light comes in where denial ends. From there, you can redirect the energy, transforming raw emotion into clarified power. Your subconscious clings to shadow material until it's recognized. It will repeat patterns, summon difficult relationships, and recreate painful cycles until you turn inward. This isn't punishment, but persistence. The shadow insists on being heard because it knows that wholeness requires it. When you finally listen, the cycle breaks and integration begins. Imagine yourself sitting with your shadow as if it were a long-forgotten friend. Ask it what it's protecting, what it fears, and what it longs for. In its answers, you'll find truths about yourself that you once buried. With compassion, invite those pieces back into your heart. Wholeness isn't perfection. It's the reunion of everything that makes you who you are. The most potent strength often rises from the most brutal battles. Healers who have been wounded become guides for others. Those who were broken find themselves building new realities. Those who have fallen transform into visionaries. The weight of your shadows, once a burden, becomes your wisdom. The very qualities you once fought against might one day be the bedrock of how you serve the world. The shadow refines you, giving you depth and authenticity. The contribution of the shadow is simple, yet deeply meaningful. It completes you. Without it, you only shine halfway. With it, your light becomes fuller, stronger, undeniable. Embrace the darkness, not as a curse, but as a gift. It's only by walking through the shadow that you can truly embody the hidden law of effortless becoming. Chapter 23. Trusting the Unseen. The unseen is the womb where all becoming gestates. Though your eyes may not yet see it, reality is already being rearranged to benefit you. Roots grow deep beneath the soil before any sprout breaks through. Waves gather their might far out at sea before they crash on the shore. In the same way, the unseen holds the proof of your becoming long before it becomes visible. Trust is the bridge that carries you safely through this invisible stage. Without it, you abandon the process prematurely, digging up the seed to see if it's growing. With trust, you rest easy, confident that the unseen is buzzing with activity. Trust isn't blind faith, it's wisdom. It understands that reality takes shape in silence first and form later. The mind craves evidence, demanding signs before it surrenders. But the soul already knows the truth. What's unseen is often more real than what's visible. Love, faith, and vision can't be touched, yet they move mountains. To trust the unseen is to side with your soul over your restless mind. It's choosing inner knowing over external proof. Think about how night falls without causing panic. You don't fear that the sun is gone forever. You trust that it will return. This same faith is what's required in becoming. Even when darkness seems endless, the light is inevitable. Trusting the unseen means holding on to this certainty. Even when the evidence is hidden, the law is still working, whether you see its hand or not. Synchronicities often appear as hints of the unseen at work. A phrase repeated, a number recurring, a chance meeting that happens at just the right time. These are fragments of the larger design, reminders that the unseen has already begun its weaving. They aren't the whole picture, but they are enough proof to keep you trusting. The subconscious reacts strongly to trust. When you rest in confidence, it relaxes and releases resistance. The body softens, the mind clears, the heart steadies. In this state, the field can deliver with ease, Doubt is the static that disrupts the signal. Trust is the clarity that amplifies it. The unseen flows more freely when you lean into it. Ancient mystics taught their students to walk as if the promise was already fulfilled. They believed that faith wasn't just believing in possibility, but having a conviction in inevitability. This posture of trust magnetized outcomes, collapsing time and dissolving obstacles. They lived from the end, not toward it, because they trusted the unseen to fill in the gap. To strengthen this trust, practice declaring, "Even when I don't see it, it's working." Repeat it until your body feels the truth. Each time fear rises, come back to this phrase. It aligns your vibration with completion. Even while evidence seems absent, what you affirm inwardly, you summon outwardly. Trusting the unseen is the essence of effortless becoming. It frees you from frantic striving and anchors you in peace. It allows life to surprise you with grace, carrying you beyond what you could ever plan. When you surrender doubt and stand firm in trust, the unseen unveils itself in perfect timing. And then you realize it was never unseen at all. Chapter 24. The Role of Intuition. Intuition is the quiet compass that guides you through the labyrinth of becoming. Unlike logic, which analyzes and questions, intuition whispers softly, nudging you toward alignment. It rarely shouts, but its accuracy is uncanny. When followed, it opens doors that reason could never predict. Intuition is the voice of your soul, speaking in the language of subtlety. You've felt it before, the sudden urge to call someone, the unexplainable desire to take a different path, the deep knowing that defies evidence. These aren't coincidences, they're signals from your intuition, pulling you closer to your true timeline. Doubt dismisses them, but trust transforms them into guidance. Listening is the first step toward mastery. The subconscious acts as a receiver for intuition. While your conscious mind is busy with all the noise, your subconscious picks up signals from the field of infinite possibility. Dreams, flashes of imagery, or bodily sensations often carry its messages. To cultivate intuition, you must learn to quiet your surface mind and tune into these subtle transmissions. Ancient wisdom treated intuition as sacred. Oracles, shamans, and seers trusted its flow, knowing it connected human awareness with divine order. They understood that intuition wasn't magic. It was coherence between the self and the field. When you align with stillness and presence, intuition naturally awakens, like a stream freed from stone. Intuition often contradicts logic, and that's where courage comes in. The rational mind insists on evidence, while intuition offers only a feeling. Following it demands faith in the unseen. Yet each time you honor its whisper, you strengthen its voice. Over time, intuition becomes clearer, and trust in its guidance grows unshakable. Practice noticing how intuition speaks uniquely to you. For some, it comes as a gut feeling. For others, as images or sudden clarity. Keep a journal of these impressions, observing when they lead to alignment. Awareness builds relationship, and relationship builds trust. Soon, you'll know the difference between fear's voice and intuition's calm one. Even small decisions become opportunities to practice. Ask yourself, does this choice expand me or contract me? Expansion signals alignment. Contraction signals a misstep. Intuition is less about predicting outcomes and more about guiding you into resonance. It doesn't reveal every step, but it ensures that the next one is true. The more you honor your intuition, the more synchronicities follow. The field rearranges to confirm your inner guidance. What once felt accidental becomes frequent. Life flows with a sense of orchestration, as though unseen hands are arranging each detail. Intuition is the thread weaving you into this larger design. The role of intuition is to keep you in harmony with becoming. It won't always explain itself, but it will never betray you. Trust its whispers, even when they seem illogical, because intuition is your soul reminding you of what you already know. To walk with it is to walk with destiny itself. Chapter 25. The Architecture of Words. Words are more than just sounds. They're structures that carry shape and weight in the unseen. Every word you speak is a stone placed in the temple of your becoming. Whisper fear often enough, and you build walls of limitation. Speak faith consistently, and you raise arches of possibility. Words aren't harmless. They're the architecture of your reality. Your subconscious absorbs language without a filter. It doesn't question sarcasm, nor does it distinguish between truth and jest. When you repeat phrases like "I can't" or "I'm stuck," your subconscious takes them as commands. These commands then form the blueprint that the field responds to. Careless words become invisible chains, binding you to states you never intended. Think about the power of naming. When you call yourself whole, your subconscious begins to reorganize in that direction. When you label yourself broken, it builds reinforcement for that identity. Naming isn't description, it's creation. The act of declaring shapes the very self you walk into. Words seal contracts with reality. Ancient traditions treated words as sacred tools. Mantras, prayers, chants, each carried rhythm and repetition designed to impress the subconscious. These practices weren't mere rituals, but deliberate acts of creation. Every syllable vibrated through the body, imprinting states of alignment. The ancients knew that to speak is to build. Notice the words you use daily, especially in moments of frustration. Do you curse your life or bless it? Do you declare endings or beginnings? Each phrase is a choice of architecture. Even silent self-talk leaves impressions. The most powerful shifts often come not from louder affirmations, but from gentler, consistent speech aligned with becoming. Emotion gives words their weight. A phrase spoken without feeling is like a sketch in sand. A phrase spoken with deep conviction is carved into stone. That's why affirmations only work when they stir emotion. Words must be felt to be built. Speak with presence, and the architecture rises unshakable. Practice choosing words that match the state you wish to embody. Replace "I hope" with "I trust." Replace "someday" with "already." Replace "I wish" with "I am." Each substitution strengthens resonance, aligning your inner blueprint with outer form. Over time, these words form structures so strong that reality has to reflect them. Silence, too, holds architectural power. To refrain from speaking, limitation is itself construction. Each pause before careless speech protects the foundation. Sometimes the strongest architecture is built not by addition, but by restraint. Guarding your words is guarding your destiny. The architecture of words reminds you that creation is constant. You're building with every phrase, whether you realize it or not. Choose carefully, speak deliberately, and let your language mirror the life you're becoming. For once spoken, words echo in the field, shaping walls, arches, and doors that lead you home. Chapter 26. Living from the End. To live from the end is to inhabit the identity of fulfillment before any evidence appears. Instead of longing, you embody. Instead of waiting, you arrive inwardly. This practice collapses the distance between desire and reality. The field doesn't respond to future hopes. It answers present states. When you live as though it's already done, the unseen bends to make it so. Think of an actor who fully immerses themselves in a role. They speak, walk, and breathe as the character until the illusion feels real. Living from the end requires the same devotion. You step into the identity of your fulfilled self, rehearsing it not as a wish, but as the truth. Soon the performance becomes your reality. The mind often argues, saying, "But I don't see it yet." This is where faith must rise. Living from the end isn't denial, it's creation. You're not ignoring current conditions. You're choosing to align with the timeline where the vision already exists. The outer will adjust, but the inner must lead. Visualization strengthens this embodiment. Imagine yourself not hoping, but remembering. Feel the sensation of already having, of already being. Walk through daily life with this quiet certainty. The subconscious will record it as fact, and life will reorganize to confirm it. Reality can't resist a state consistently lived. Ancient teachings described this as calling the things that are not as though they were. They understood that creation begins with identity, not effort. Living from the end is claiming your crown before the ceremony, knowing it was always yours. It's walking in destiny before any footsteps are visible. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. At first, the contrast between your inner state and the outer world may feel uncomfortable. You might feel as though you're pretending, but persistence dissolves that contradiction. The longer you remain in the end, the faster the outer world bends. What began as rehearsal becomes normal, and what was normal becomes obsolete. Living from the end doesn't mean ignoring action. It means action flows naturally from identity. When you live as the fulfilled self, choices align, words shift, doors open, and effort no longer feels like strain. It feels like expression. Doing arises effortlessly from being. The law works through embodiment, not through force. Practice this tonight. As you prepare for sleep, see yourself already in the life you long for. Feel its weight, its peace, its rhythm. Drift into rest as though it were true. Then, upon waking, carry that state into the day. Each repetition strengthens the bridge between inner and outer until they become one. Living from the end is the fastest path to effortless becoming. It bypasses the waiting game and anchors you in completion. No longer do you chase your future, you dwell in it. And when you dwell long enough, reality bows to the state you embody. The end isn't far away. It's already here, waiting for you to live it. Chapter 27. Becoming versus doing. The world teaches you to measure worth by activity, to do more, achieve more, prove more. Yet the hidden law whispers another truth. Doing without becoming leads to exhaustion, while becoming naturally produces the right action. Who you are shapes what you do, not the other way around. To focus only on doing is to miss the essence of effortless transformation. Imagine a tree. It doesn't struggle to bear fruit. It becomes fruit-bearing by nature. Its doing flows from its being. In the same way, when you embody abundance, generous actions follow naturally. When you embody peace, calm responses arise without effort. The quality of doing always mirrors the state of being. Many live trapped in endless striving, hoping that action will compensate for a lack of alignment. They run tirelessly, yet the results remain fragile. That's because doing without becoming is like painting over cracked walls. The surface might look improved, but the foundation remains unstable. True change begins inward, where identity is formed. Becoming requires stillness, trust, and alignment. It's the invisible shift in identity that gives rise to lasting action. When you root yourself in who you are, doing no longer feels forced, it feels inevitable. The law responds more to your state than to your schedule. One aligned act outweighs 100 misaligned efforts. The subconscious follows this pattern as well. If you carry the belief, I am unworthy, no amount of frantic action will sustain success. But if you embody, I am enough, every action begins to reflect that truth. Doing flows effortlessly because it's rooted in identity. The soil of becoming nourishes every act. Ancient wisdom echoed this principle in simple words. Be still and know. They understood that power lies not in endless labor, but in alignment with essence. When you know who you are, the path of what to do reveals itself naturally. The noise of striving falls silent, replaced by the clarity of resonance. This doesn't mean action is unimportant. It means action must be born from becoming, not from fear or lack. When you're aligned, action feels lighter, more inspired, and more effective. Doing becomes expression, not obligation. Each step carries power because it springs from truth. Alignment multiplies the impact of every choice. Reflect for a moment on where your life feels heavy. Are you pushing to prove, or are you allowing being to lead? Notice the difference. One drains, the other renews. When you realign with becoming, even the most ordinary actions begin to feel sacred. The weight lifts, and life flows more freely. Becoming versus doing is the heart of effortless creation. The outer world rearranges not because of frantic effort, but because of embodied identity. When you choose to become, the doing takes care of itself. Shift who you are within, and every action will follow. This is the quiet secret that turns struggle into flow. Chapter 28. The Field of Possibility. Reality isn't a rigid structure. It's a vast field of infinite probabilities. Every choice, every thought, every emotion sends ripples through this field, selecting one thread of possibility over another. What you call fate is simply the resonance you consistently hold. You're never locked into a single outcome. The field waits for you to choose. Think of the sky at night. Countless stars shimmer above, yet only the one you gaze upon fills your vision. The field operates the same way. Infinite paths surround you, but the one you observe and embody becomes your reality. Attention is the hand that points, and embodiment is the step that walks. Many believe that life happens to them, unaware of the field's vastness. They live as though confined to a single road, but the hidden law teaches that roads multiply endlessly. The field shifts the moment you do. When you change inwardly, new possibilities align themselves outwardly, waiting for you to recognize them. Quantum science hints at this truth. Observed particles collapse into one state out of many probabilities. Consciousness directs which state emerges. Mystics said it differently. As you see, so it becomes. Both point to the same law. What you embody in awareness calls a timeline into form. The universe is a mirror of choice. The subconscious plays a crucial role in navigating this field. It accepts impressions as instructions, guiding you into the matching possibility. That's why imagination and belief are so potent. They tell the subconscious which path to follow. By impressing a chosen reality inwardly, you collapse the field around it. Don't confuse possibility with control. You can't manipulate every detail, nor should you try. The field arranges outcomes in ways beyond comprehension. Your task isn't to dictate, but to align. Hold the state, live the identity, and allow the unseen to weave the details. Trust that the field knows the way better than fear does. Imagine standing at the center of a spiral, each arm representing a timeline. To step onto one path, you need only align your vibration with it. Gratitude draws you to abundance, fear to scarcity, and trust to fulfillment. The spiral doesn't resist you, it simply reflects the note you choose to sing. Practice shifting the field by holding a chosen state for longer each day. Feel the reality of peace, abundance, or love until it becomes natural. Watch how life begins to echo back the state you embody. At first, the signs may be small, but soon the entire path realigns. The field always responds to persistence. The field of possibility is proof that you're never trapped. Even when life feels narrow, infinite openings surround you. Each breath is another chance to select, another chance to step into a higher timeline. Your power lies not in forcing the future, but in remembering your freedom to choose. The field is endless, and it waits for you. Chapter 29. Coherence of Heart and Mind. True power emerges when thought and feeling move as one. The mind might hold a vision, but if the heart trembles in doubt, the signal weakens. The heart might long for peace, but if the mind argues against it, confusion arises. Coherence is the harmony between heart and mind, the alignment that magnifies energy. When the two agree, the field answers swiftly. Science confirms what mystics have always known. The heart produces an electromagnetic field stronger than the brain. When gratitude, love, or calm radiates from the heart, the body shifts into coherence. Thoughts become clearer, intuition sharpens, and the nervous system relaxes. In this state, manifestation accelerates. The inner orchestra plays in perfect rhythm. Many remain fragmented, with the mind pulling one way and the heart another. This division creates resistance, scattering energy instead of focusing it. Coherence heals this split. It calls you back to inner unity. A single coherent thought fused with genuine feeling carries more creative power than 1,000 scattered wishes. To practice coherence, begin with breath. Place a hand over your heart and slow your breathing, imagining air moving through your chest. As calm settles, bring to mind a moment of deep gratitude or love. Allow the warmth to spread through your body. Then, introduce the vision of your becoming. Mind and heart now pulse together, radiating one frequency. Ancient practices such as prayer, chanting, and meditation were designed to induce coherence. They united thought with devotion, intellect with feeling. The repetition of sacred words wasn't to convince the mind alone, but to ignite the heart. When both engaged, the field resonated strongly. That's why such practices carried transformative power. Notice how incoherence feels. When you say, "I trust," yet your body contracts in fear, the signal is unclear. When you affirm abundance yet feel lack, the resonance is broken. This isn't failure, it's feedback. The misalignment shows you where more coherence is needed. Awareness allows you to gently realign. The subconscious loves coherence. It records aligned thoughts and feelings as truth, integrating them quickly. Contradictions take longer because the mind says one thing while the heart says another. That's why cultivating emotion is as vital as shaping thought. Together, they write instructions that the subconscious can't refuse. As coherence strengthens, synchronicities multiply. The world mirrors your inner alignment, arranging events with startling precision. Relationships flow, opportunities unfold, and even challenges feel easier to navigate. This isn't coincidence, it's resonance. The harmony inside broadcasts a clear signal that the field can't ignore. The coherence of heart and mind is the secret engine of effortless becoming. It transforms scattered effort into focused power, aligning you with timelines of grace. Don't underestimate its simplicity. Each breath, each moment of gratitude, each thought aligned with love builds coherence. And coherence is the song to which reality dances. Chapter 30. The Art of Receiving. To receive is as sacred as to give, yet many struggle with it. They ask the universe for blessings, but close their hands when gifts arrive. Receiving isn't passive, it's alignment in action. It's the willingness to let abundance flow without guilt or fear. The art of receiving completes the cycle of creation, allowing what you've called forth to finally reach you. Resistance to receiving often comes from old beliefs. You might feel unworthy, fear that accepting will bring loss, or believe you must earn every gift through struggle. These thoughts block the flow, turning away what's already yours. Receiving requires a shift in identity, to see yourself as deserving, chosen, and safe in abundance. Think of the breath. You inhale and exhale without effort, knowing each cycle is natural. No one questions their right to receive air. Abundance operates the same way. Life longs to flow into you, but only open lungs can receive it. When you relax into worthiness, blessings arrive as naturally as oxygen filling the body. The subconscious records every act of receiving as proof of identity. Accepting kindness, compliments, or unexpected help trains the mind to believe you're supported. Rejecting them trains the mind to believe otherwise. That's why even the smallest moments of acceptance matter. They signal to the field, "I'm ready, I allow." Ancient cultures celebrated receiving as holy. Offerings from the earth, harvest, rain, and sunlight were accepted with gratitude. They didn't see themselves as thieves of nature, but as partners in its cycle. To receive was to honor the divine exchange. You too are part of this exchange. Refusing gifts dishonors the flow. Embracing them magnifies it. Receiving is also an act of trust. It says, "I don't need to control how. I'm willing to be surprised by the form abundance takes." This openness allows the field to deliver in unexpected ways. Money, opportunity, love, and guidance may arrive through channels you never imagined. By loosening your grip, you expand the path of delivery. To practice, begin with stillness. Place your hands open on your lap, palms upward. Breathe and affirm, I receive with ease. I receive with gratitude. Imagine light pouring into your hands, filling your body. Feel the sensation of being blessed, chosen, and complete. This simple ritual rewires the subconscious to welcome what it once resisted. Notice how your life shifts when you stop deflecting. Accept praise instead of dismissing it. Welcome help instead of declining it. Say thank you with sincerity instead of embarrassment. Each acceptance opens the gate wider until receiving becomes as natural as breathing. The field responds. It happens quickly when no barriers remain. The art of receiving is a reminder that you're not here to struggle forever. You're meant to live in the flow of exchange, balancing giving and receiving. To truly master receiving means honoring the universal law completely, closing the loop of becoming. Open your hands, open your heart, and finally let what's already meant for you arrive. Chapter 31. Living Proof of the Law. The hidden law isn't proven through theory, it's proven through lived experience. Words can inspire, sure, but real transformation is measured by what you actually experience. You are the living proof, the embodiment of what once was just a thought or a vision. Every shift in your reality, every synchronicity, every answered desire is proof that this law actually works. Your life becomes a kind of scripture written in motion. Think about those moments when you trusted in alignment instead of just sheer effort, and the impossible just unfolded with ease. Those memories aren't just accidents. They are evidence. They're there to remind you that the law of effortless becoming is alive, precise, and completely reliable. By recognizing these moments, you're strengthening your faith and speeding up your own unfolding. Skeptics might doubt, but they can't erase your experiences. They can question the law, but they can't deny your personal story. Personal proof is way stronger than any argument. When you carry yourself with the confidence that comes from lived experience, your mere presence becomes persuasive. Other people can feel the resonance of truth coming from you. Each time you fully embody a new identity and watch the world around you rearrange itself to match, you become a witness to the hidden workings of reality. The shift might be subtle at first, but then it becomes undeniable. Doors open, people change. Opportunities just seem to appear out of nowhere. These aren't just coincidences. They're confirmations that you're on the right path. Life itself bows to who you are becoming. Ancient wisdom always honored testimony as something sacred. Mystics would share their experiences, not to brag, but to inspire others. Their stories carried so much power because they were actually lived. You too are being called to see your life as a living story. Every manifestation, every breakthrough, every transformation is part of the proof that you carry into the world. Notice how others are mirroring this proof back to you. Friends might comment that you seem lighter, calmer, or more magnetic. Strangers might react to you differently, drawn to your presence. These are reflections of your alignment with the law. Proof that the inner shift you've made can't stay hidden. The law reveals itself through every interaction you have. The subconscious mind thrives on evidence. When you acknowledge the positive results that are already present in your life, you're programming your mind to expect even more. Gratitude actually multiplies the proof. Doubt will try to dismiss it as just luck, but recognition anchors it firmly as the law in action. Each acknowledgement is like a seed that you're planting, preparing you for even greater harvests in the future. Living proof doesn't mean perfection. It means progress that is visible and felt. Even the small shifts, the calm you now carry within you, the hope that once seemed impossible, are evidence enough. Celebrate those things. They are the stepping stones that will lead you deeper into trust. Proof builds upon proof until doubt simply has no room left to exist. The law becomes its most powerful when you embody it fully, walking as a living testament, not just in words, but in your very presence. Your life then becomes a lighthouse for others, guiding them towards their own remembering. To live as proof is to silently declare, "The law is real, it works, and it is written within me." Chapter 32. returning to the hidden law. Every journey eventually circles back to its origin. After all the lessons, the rituals, the visions, and the signs, you return to the simple truth that started it all. Reality shifts, not through struggling, but through alignment with the law. The hidden law itself never changes. It waits, steady and eternal, for you to simply remember it. Becoming isn't something you force. It's something you allow to happen. Think of the river that carries you home. You might have wandered along its banks, explored its streams, even resisted its current at times, but eventually you surrender to its flow. In that surrender, you rediscover the law that was always there. The river asks nothing of you but trust. It already knows the way. The hidden law reminds you that stillness is power. In silence, the blueprint of your becoming unfolds without you even trying. You don't chase after it. It comes to you. You don't demand it. It answers you. Each return to stillness reconnects you with the field of infinite possibility, aligning you with it. The law rewards those who rest into it. You've already seen how your identity shapes your destiny, how your beliefs power your creation, and how gratitude accelerates abundance in your life. These truths aren't separate from the law. They are simply expressions of it. Every principle you've explored flows from the same source. Returning to the hidden law is returning to the root where all the branches meet. Your subconscious mind now carries the imprint of what you've learned. Through repetition, through trust, and through ritual, it has absorbed the signature of alignment. This is the real work. Not forcing things on the outside, but impressing the inner. The law honors every impression, every assumption, every state you live in. Reality follows the script that you consistently embody. You might still face moments of resistance, but even those are invitations to grow. They're calling you to remember the river, to soften, to realign yourself. Each obstacle is a reminder to return to the law, not to abandon it. The hidden law never withholds. It simply mirrors back to you what you're putting out there. Return to resonance, and the mirror will clear. Mystics throughout history have spoken of this return. Some called it faith, others surrender, and still others remembrance. Each pointed to the same truth. The law is eternal, and alignment with it is always available to you. No matter how far you wander, you're only one breath away from returning. The law is home, and home never leaves you. To live this truth is to walk with a quiet sense of authority. You no longer beg for change. You embody it. You no longer fear delay. You trust in the timing of things. You no longer strive endlessly. You simply flow with life. The hidden law carries you forward because you have chosen to remember it. Your becoming unfolds naturally, like night yielding to dawn. Returning to the hidden law isn't an ending, it's a beginning. It's the renewal of trust, the deepening of faith, and the expansion of possibility. You're not outside the law. You are its living proof. Breathe this truth in. Embody it, and let it shape every step you take. The hidden law of effortless becoming is, and always will be, yours. The path you've walked through these words was never about learning something new. It was about remembering what was always within you. The hidden law of effortless becoming has whispered through every chapter, calling you back to alignment, to trust, and to surrender. Now as the final echoes settle, let peace rest in your heart. You're not behind, not broken, and not lost. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Feel the stillness that surrounds you now. It's not empty. It's full, alive with unseen movement. The seeds you've planted in thought, in vision, and in faith are already growing. Even if your eyes don't yet see them, the field is rearranging itself to accommodate them. Trust that the unseen is at work, shaping your tomorrow through the choices you embody today. You are the dreamer, and you are the dream. You are the observer, and you are the creation. This is the circle of becoming, the law that never fails. As you leave this sacred listening, carry with you not only the wisdom, but the embodiment of it. Walk as if it were already done, because it is. Let your days be filled with rituals of gratitude, with gentle trust in your intuition, and with the courage to face the shadow and transform it. Honor the synchronicities that appear, because they're the universe speaking back to you. Celebrate even the smallest shifts, because they're proof that the law is alive and responding to you. Your life itself is the testimony. You don't need to convince anyone of this truth. Your presence will speak it for you. As you align more deeply, others will feel it. You'll become the lighthouse that guides, the mirror that awakens, and the living proof that effortless becoming is real. This is your gift to the world. Before you go, I invite you to anchor this moment in your heart. Breathe deeply. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I remember the hidden law." And if you've listened until the very end, leave a comment with the sacred phrase, "I allow the becoming." Let it be your declaration, your seal, your reminder. The journey continues, and you are ready.